This is our dining room table, and on it, amongst a whole load of other stuff, is a photograph, a wartime photograph of my late father, Ian Nicholson, who fought during the war and became a major, the Second World War. And next to him is a much more recent photograph of my mother, Doreen Nicholson, who worked in Bletchley Park during the war and kept that secret for 30 years, even from my father. I'd now like to read one of her poems which she wrote. She's got a wonderful collection of poems which she has also kept secret. I think it became a habit after a while. Anyway, she has my great admiration. And one of the reasons I'm going to read this poem and why I've filmed their photographs is because tomorrow is Armistice Day, and probably my mother's name will never appear on any documents attesting to what she did, how hard she worked during all those years in secrecy under conditions of great strain and great responsibility. So even though they've awarded the people who worked at Bletchley Park a badge rather late in the day, only I think this year, it doesn't really express how much we all owe to people like her. My mother, who is now 91, is a poet. Her name is Dee Nicholson, and she has brought out this book of poems about her vital work that she did during the war at Bletchley Park. This was work which she kept entirely secret all during my childhood and for 30 years because it was so important to the war effort. When I used to ask her what she did during the war, she would say, "Oh, I was just a secretary." And it wasn't until really quite recently that she felt able to talk about it, basically after everybody else started talking about it. Anyway, it was very important work, and it says here in the book what she actually did. Her task was to nail down for reference in the constant flow of intelligence which was decrypted by the Hut 3 watch, which is where they were dealing with Enigma translations from the secret German code, whatever was clearly of immediate importance as well as what could possibly be significant in the longer term. Far from being a secretary, I think she basically won the war. She was appointed head of the Air Index in 1943 and remained in that post until leaving Bletchley Park right at the end of the war. I'm going to read the last poem in this sequence of 5 poems about her time at Bletchley Park, which she wrote these poems after she visited in her very, very late age for the very first time since she'd been there in the 1940s. And this is a poem by Dee Nicholson, then Doreen Tabor when she was working at Bletchley Park, and it's called Ultra. They have their regiments, their flags, their rituals. We were a motley crew. In and out we surged, and no one knew what we were doing. They have their medals and their pride. We have the memory of a complete silence, thousands wide. For 30 years we kept our mouths shut, marched and counter-marched for years, submerged beneath civilian nonentity, expunged from press, publicity and history books. They have their medals and their armistice. We have our walking sticks, hobbling in silence through the guarded gate. I'm very proud of her and what she did. I don't think she is. She seems to take it completely as normal, as everybody did in those days. But I am very proud.